It is in your hands to stop all the killing and all the shooting wherever it might be. Because you cannot say Black Lives Matter and then kill yourselves.
I got to tell you, I love Stevie Wonder for all the music that he's put into the world. In fact, I've always been such a fan that I've named my first child after one of his songs. But these days, I find myself not agreeing with him on politics, even though I think his heart is in the right place. But ironically, those comments on Black Lives Matter remind me of a song, Respect Yourself. It's not from Stevie, it's from the Staple Singers, and there's a couple of lines there. If you're walking around thinking that the world owes you something because you're here, you're going to walk out the world backwards like you did when you first came here. Or if you don't respect yourself, ain't nobody going to give a good cahoot. Now, there's a lot of pain, obviously, over what's been happening in this country, and when you see a police shooting and an unarmed black man. But we have these courts. In fact, the one in Minneapolis was a balanced court. So there's a lot of rage, and yet, here's the thing, the rage is never there when it's black-on-black murder or black-on-black crime. In fact, the reason that the absence of rage covers up a mindset that I think must be addressed, or the slaughter will never stop. I want to bring back Angela McGlowan and Lawrence Jones to discuss. Angela, it was good to hear Stevie Wonder just be honest about that. You know, let's stop talking about Black Lives Matter when you never say anything when it's another black person pulling the trigger.
Look, this is the left in deflection. This is George Soros actually trying to change the narrative. Where was the outrage with the bigotry of low expectations? Where is the outrage when our schools are failing our black and brown children? There's no outrage out there. You know what? I fault the left, I fault liberals, but I fault Americans because, look, Charles, God is not a respecter of persons. God has no favorites, so why should we?
Lawrence?
Well, this has always been my philosophy. The reason why I got into this industry is for my community. And it's not just about black lives, it's about economics, education, and everything else. And you got to have a consistent message. And right now, we're seeing from the left that they're not consistent, and not consistent on economics, and they're not consistent about jobs and improving the life of black folks. Now, as it relates to the police, look, I understand it. I'm a black man. I grew up in the community, grew up wanting to be a police officer. I understand the unrest. Most officers are doing their job, but you have the few bad apples.
But let me ask you this, though, Lawrence, on a broader scale, you know, the victimization, in my mind, is the problem. That when you never look in the mirror, then you can never truly solve your problems.
Right. Well, I always go back to big government. You see what I'm saying? And I have a straightforward message on this. When it relates to the police in all government, I'm a limited government person. You invited the government in to take over your community. Don't be upset when you enter in these type of situations.
My friend, before big government, before LBJ, read my book Bamboozle, we depended on each other, and Charles is right. We have those victimhood vendors out there telling us that we're lesser than, and unfortunately, we're starting to believe it. Rahm Emanuel, Barack Hussein Obama's chief of staff, took over Chi-Town, and look at what's happening in Chicago.
Well, they profit off of it.
Right, and look at all the black cities, Detroit, Michigan, I can go down the list, that are filing for bankruptcy. So I fault our own community and us following the victimhood vendors. We need to stand up.
It starts with economics, guys. I always say.